franchise history, that would be 24 years. Amari Hardwick still with us. Good to have
right
you.
here.
Guess what? You're up. Stephen A. has the Warriors in 6.
Yeah.
Max has the Raptors in 6.
Yeah.
KD will not go in game 1. Boogie, a game-time decision. What does Amari Hardwick have?
Wait, Boogie is a game-time decision?
Game time.
Quad, right?
Yes.
I said it that year, Molly, when we were in Oakland, and my brother Stephen A. was not there. I said the Warriors in 6, and I would repeat that. I would repeat that same pick. I think the Warriors in 6. I'm proud of what the Raptors have been able to do. I'm proud that they were able to make it to the finals this year, but I just think too much firepower. And I think there's intangibles that the Warriors, well, maybe you guys speak about it, but even people like Sean Livingston and just at this point, his experience.
Iguodala.
Iggy's crazy. He's been the MVP of the finals. So
he had 10 days off.
They're rested.
Yeah.
Stephen A. says it best. They're rested. And Draymond seems hungrier than ever. He's playing the best ball he's ever played. Curry to come back with a couple, as Stephen A. challenged him 2 weeks ago, if you weren't in this as well, Molly, when everybody said, Curry, you got to play better. And then he immediately answered the call of everybody. So
no question.
I think 6.
Let me ask you this, because you mentioned Draymond, and we played some sound earlier in the show, and essentially what he was saying is how much his role will change without having KD out there, and how much he has to step it up. What do you expect to see from him? What does he need to do? Just
continuing to be aggressive on offense. I think it's been the biggest thing for him. Obviously, Draymond gets plenty of credit for being this defensive powerhouse. Perhaps KD doesn't get enough credit for it, but he is definitely a great defender. Klay Thompson is a great defender, moves his puppies very well. But I think in terms of what we've seen from Draymond, he's averaging damn near triple-double. He's at like 13-point-something per game, and then 9 rebounds and 7 assists. So just his aggression and offense would have to continue if KD is not there.
Okay.
What do you anticipate Draymond will be looking to do against this team? It's one thing when you're going up against the Portland Trailblazers, you're pushing the ball up the floor, you're doing what you're doing. This Toronto Raptors team is long, they're athletic. Collectively, they defend better, one would say, than the Portland Trailblazers. What do you think Draymond believes he has to do in this series specifically in order for Golden State to win it?
I think that's a great question, Stephen. I think under the umbrella of being a great defender, one must also be, to go to that next level of great defender, one must be a disruptor, if that's the verbiage of choice I could use. And he's a hellified disruptor, you know what I mean? So he can guard 5 positions, which we haven't seen the likes of in a very long time. LeBron can do that. Shout outs to LeBron, who's a point forward, and Draymond is very similar. But I think just in terms of being a disruptor, not only for Kawhi, the great, but also for Lowry. He's got to get down and low with somebody, 6 feet tall, with Kyle Lowry, and be able to disrupt him too. So just messing that whole thing up. Because I agree with you, defensively, they're strong, man. And the scrapper that Lowry is, you got to watch out for him. Curry's got to be on his A game the whole time, or Lowry will return to disruption. So as long as Draymond is getting his hands, being long equally as well as being this sort of disruptor, then I think they do okay.
Omari, Max. I hear what you're saying about the defense, especially. Golden State very underrated defensively, especially when KD is in there. Everyone's a great defender except Steph, who's a willing defender. He plays team defense. But I want to talk about Steph Curry because it sounds like, oh, I'm being mean or I'm hating on Steph. No, look, LeBron once choked away 4 consecutive fourth quarters against Dallas and Miami because he wasn't ready. Deferring to Wade, didn't know what to do, and they lost because of that. And he's redeemed himself many times since. We have not seen that with Steph in the finals. Whatever the numbers are, we all know, like we can't pretend you don't know what I mean. He has been less than his best self with the money on the line in the finals. Maybe he can do it and turn that script around, right? Flip it. But he hasn't done that yet. What makes you think he will in this series?
For me, Max, in this series, what he's shown so far in the playoffs, obviously in the series leading up to this one, I completely agree with you, by the way. There's a reason that Iggy was the MVP in those, ironically, as a 6-man, so to speak, in those prior finals. But what Curry has shown, his maturation, I mean, just we can never be remiss in terms of talking about these players as parents. I mean, the dude is also a father, and now he's a father times 3. So just his maturation as a man and what he's shown on the court. When I text Draymond, I said it's very interesting that KD not being here is proving for you all to have to step up to the plate, but also that you're proving to step up to the plate. So Curry has done that. So when I look at the finals, I just continue to think, to Stephen A's great point, that with a rested Curry and the rest of the team equally is rested, then I think he just continues on with what we've seen in the prior series. But I hear your point, Max.
And I hear Max's point as well, but here's what I love about, and this is what I think people are missing about Steph Curry in this particular series. You know, Kawhi going to defend Klay Thompson.
Yeah. He's going to get Klay and Dre, right?
He's going to get Klay, he's going to get Dre.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want Kawhi on Steph, but so much because of Steph's ability to move without the ball. You don't want to expend energy from Kawhi doing that.
Yeah.
So there's other guys that's going to have to help. And obviously you've got some tall defenders that's going to get out there, but you're going to have Kyle Lowry out there. He's got to defend somebody. And when he's not out there, you're going to defend Fred VanVleet. And by the way, there have been times when Nick Nurse elected to put VanVleet and Kyle Lowry out there because Danny Green wasn't making shots.
Right.
If you have them out there, no matter what they give you on offense, they got to defend.
Right.
And the likelihood is they're going to be on Curry. And Curry doesn't have that big body to worry about shooting over.
Right.
And this is already a marksman who does shoot over guys. So imagine if he's looking down on somebody defending him as opposed to looking up at somebody defending him. The path to the vision to the basket is clearer.
Yeah.
Just imagine that. And I'm going to say it again.
And the basket gets bigger.
The greatest shooter we have ever seen in the history of basketball has a clear vision of the basket.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
So does that mean he gets his first Finals MVP?
Yeah, I think he does. I mean, if it's not Draymond, I don't see it being Iggy. You know, again,
nope.
Those guys are forces to be reckoned with. And you know, Molly, you like men. Those are men. You know what I mean? What I love about Draymond is he's like an old school player. Those guys were men. So I get Max's point to Steven's point, but when you got a guy moving around without the ball to the likes of, I mean, the other two guard that we left out in Reggie Miller, who's one of the greats of all time. Reggie was an incredible marksman, but his running without the ball was it. So, yeah, I think Curry is on that trajectory to score that too, the MVP of the finals.
You mentioned men. The man in this series is Kawhi. That dude's never had a problem under pressure. Even when he was a puppy, he won Finals MVP because of what he did to LeBron. By the way, he had a couple games with better than 20 points too. Okay, now, in this playoff so far, it's been historical because he's been matched up against the freak and just got him. In the previous series, he wins the series, dribbles around Ben Simmons, an excellent defender, shoots it over Embiid, a great defender, to win the series. In this series, think of who's going to be guarding the Claw. Think about who's going to be guarding Kawhi. Klay, great defender. Draymond, great defender. Iggy, great defender. And they may be able to single cover him. They may not have to trap him the way that he was trapped in the playoffs so far. What is Kawhi's still balls in spite of that?
They don't have to trap him.
Amari?
So you said if he still balls, Matt?
If he still balls,
Kawhi's going to get his. I don't think that he's going to get it in the same way that he was able to prior. I mean, literally, Max, you know this. Draymond is one of the great defenders of all time, and Klay is a freaking. He's got a dog inside of him. So
they're all great defenders.
He's going to have some beast on top of him.
Let me tell you why. Where Max's argument. Let me tell you where Max's argument goes right out the window. The Golden State Warriors for the last 4 years had to deal with a Kawhi type. His name would happen to be LeBron James. Who Max raved about averaging a triple-double, 30-plus. So in other words, what I'm saying is, no, we heard you. We heard you. Listen to this. Kawhi Leonard is going to get his. No one's going to stop him. The question is, who else is going to step up?
Pardon me, Stephen A. Omari could ref this one.
Okay.
LeBron, before KD was there, I'm assuming KD doesn't play in the series. KD plays in the series, Warriors win. I'm assuming KD is not playing. He hasn't played since the injury, which looked worse to me than they reported. Okay. Assuming KD doesn't play, LeBron LeBron got 6 games without Kyrie or Kevin Love the first time. They'd have won if he'd had a healthy team. The next year, he beat those guys.
That's not the argument.
So what are you talking about? The Warriors know what this is like. They know what it's like to lose.
That's not the argument.
No, but you know what, Max? Two things, man. You're stating, which means you and Stephen A are both right. You're stating the reason that LeBron is arguably the greatest basketball player of all time, because LeBron willed in many ways. Obviously, Kyrie is there, but he willed in many ways that team to do what it did. Golden State Warriors, Max, is one of the greatest sports teams that we've had in any sport in the last 35 to 50
once
years.
They got
Dynasty,
KD.
they're like the Patriots. Pardon me, everyone.
There's
no more 1 second. It's time for a commercial break, all of you. We're done.
Right to say Max is wrong. It's
so
totally
good to have you. We cannot wait to see
Molly.
Power coming back in August. Very sad it's the final season, but 15 seasons, we're here. When we come back here on First Take, Game 1, who is going to have the bigger game? Is it Steph Curry or Kawhi Leonard? The fellas will tell you that. First Take from Toronto. Stay right here.
Peace.
Coming up on